What's up, guys? It's your boy KB, and this video right here, before we get into it, is pretty much going to be about me explaining the truth to you guys. And what I mean about the truth is truth about, how I started with cars, truth about, what I've been going through my whole time, and pretty much the truth about what's going on right now with the Evo. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's not waste any more time. Enjoy. So, let's get into it, right? So once upon a time, right? I got this car, last year, 2023?
Sounds about right.
Didn't last a year of 2023.
Sounds about right.
I made the honest mistake by, most of my mistakes have been the people that I've gone to. It's really nobody's fault but mine because I pick and choose the people that I want to work on my car. I feel like I try to take a different route than others. Because I want to actually see somebody working on my car versus like waiting for a shop to just
cheap out, budget cuts, the usual.
I wouldn't say budget cuts because certain shops, like I want to bring this to RRT. RRT ain't doing no shortcuts. My example of when you get people to work on your car, you get what you pay for.
But you know you're going to pay for that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I think this year, what do you think you could do different this year than you should have done, that you probably could have done in the past?
So this year, as far as, car-wise, just one, stay consistent on just getting some sort of car stuff in. It doesn't even have to do with this because, I dealt with not having a race car for a year. I started this channel without a car, really, that wasn't even running. So my thing this year is just getting out there, enjoying the content, meeting people that has different varieties of cars. It's not just JDM, Euro, American. Within those, I want it to be, luxurious. I want it to be, maybe garage built. Everything in those statures. You know what I mean? So this year is about getting some good car reviews, meeting some great people, and just getting some good content, good quality. My videos have been getting better and better, but it's just been hard because this was my reliability and definitely time. Because you know what I did. For the people that don't know, I was in and out of different law enforcement jobs. A lot of people are law enforcement are big into cars. You know what I mean? So that's a big thing that a lot of people don't really speak of, It's a lot of law enforcement people are heavy in the car scene. Believe it or not.
Getting out of tickets is a plus.
Getting out of tickets and funny stuff like that, but we're not going to get into that. But as far as that, what I've been doing is very time consuming. However, I've been growing as a person and I've been learning more things as myself and what I want to do. So therefore, I want to get this car back on the road as soon as possible. If I can get this back on the road this year, guys, then that's what I do. But if not, then I'll just be patient, try to go out and get the best content as I can ever do, and just create a better plan into how I want to really get great content out of there and consistently.
When you build something, when you do something, you want it perfect. Every bolt torqued to spec, nothing missing, everything to go back the right way, as your specifications would indicate. So one of the questions that I have for you is, this year, do you think it's time to start expanding your horizons when it comes to cars and doing things more yourself and getting hands-on and getting to know what you bought and built?
Yes. Once this car is back on the road and I figure out first what I want to even do with it, I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more hands-on stuff, especially with my car. If I have to change brakes, rotors,
light work,
headlights,
light work,
oil change, small stuff like that. I want to start out doing that. There's many things that back then I wished I'd done because I worked for a dealership. I was a detailer, but I could have went into what's that lane called?
Like the express lane.
Express lane. I wished I'd done that during that time because if I went in the express lane, I would have understood how to do a lot of stuff just on my own, because it
Yeah.
would have just been embedded to me. I would have kept doing it, because that's all you do in an express lane.
You could find a family within the car community,
Yeah.
and you could learn a lot of stuff off of people who have been there, done that. Recently, we did an engine swap with Ahmed. Now, I did an engine swap with my SI. Front wheel drive, hot hatch. My engine came out the bottom, no engine hoist needed. Don't even ask how that was done. You have Ray, who has some experience doing engine swaps with classics or rear wheel drive. Just a different setup, I'm sure he's done a couple swaps too as well. You have Shrek, who did the swap in his pickup truck. And there's just so much involved with it. But your first engine swap is always going to be very intimidating. Pulling that motor out by yourself, or even with some friends. You're not a mechanic, you've never done it before, little to no experience when it comes to removing an engine. In school, I learned how to tear an engine down and rebuild it. And for ever, I could not figure out how to remove the engine for the life of me. So it's like, what good is knowing how to build an engine if I can't put it back together? But anyway, props to Ahmed. Shout out to Ahmed, by the way. Engine swap came out great. I'm proud of you, and we are looking forward to making some more content in the near future as well.
Yeah, and actually started for once.
Yeah.
That's you guys' problems. You guys didn't even start. And that's the thing. Yes, it has to do with stuff in the car community, because I have a lot of love and support even now with my car down. Like, once I get started again, those supporters that always are there to support me will come back and still support me the same way,
Yeah.
which is amazing. However, though, what I learned about just going through these couple years of life and doing the YouTube and doing other things as well while I'm doing the YouTube is that you are the CEO of your life.
Yeah.
I couldn't say it any better, because it's just like nothing won't happen until you just start doing it. Like I said, a couple years ago, I started this YouTube channel without a vehicle. And everybody's waiting for the perfect picture, the perfect video. Yes, you could be a perfectionist, but it takes time to be perfect, because you have to know the basics before you can even be perfect.
And I struggle with that myself. I'll make a crap ton of content, and it never ever sees the light of day.
Never.
And some of it isn't bad, especially considering nobody jumps on a camera or online or recording with their phone. Nobody comes out perfect their first couple videos.
No.
They look like those little kid home videos first time you try something new. I invested thousands of dollars in camera equipment and haven't put any of my content online yet. And I just feel like I've been wasting money and wasting time, and now it's time to get started. I have something to start. And
Time
I'm
is
just
speed.
motivating myself and making time, and now it's warm, it's the car season, it's good. I could start making content again.
Yeah, so, I actually had a comment when I was first starting out YouTube, and I think I had 100 subscribers, or maybe a little under 100 subscribers, and this one dude told me, he's like, look, just be ready, because your first 60 or 20 videos, he said, first 20 videos are gonna suck, but over time, get better, get gradually better, and that's what's been going on with my YouTube channel. It's been getting better. I definitely, like I said, my biggest point is the consistency and just getting that speed of time, working in time, not letting up. Even though if things get hard, like if this thing goes down, all right, it goes down. People are gonna talk. People are always gonna talk. Like Dustin Williams, TJ Hunt, Adam LZ, Evan Shanks, what do you call it? What's their names? Illuminate, Randy from Illuminate. Those guys, they've been doing this for many years, and they dealt with ups and downs as far as people hating on them for what they do, how they do their content, but they kept going, and they all actually combined and were a team at some point. They help each other, but they're all successful now. They got the cars of their dreams, full-time job, full-time career to do these things. Like, they had whatever they had, they did whatever they did, they pursued the dream. They took control of that, and they accomplished it. A lot of people would never even see the day of their position. Some people really would want to, but they don't have the confidence in what it takes to do that.
And part of it is just about going out and doing. What do you want to do to build your collection? How do you want to go about building your collection of cars? Is there something that you got, some bucket list items, cars that you just want to own for the moment, cars that you want to get rid of and sell, cars that you want to experience?
My biggest thing, my lesson to whoever starts a YouTube and has a car or doesn't have a car but wants to get into cars, my biggest lesson to you guys is literally start with what you have and don't worry about what you don't have. Because a lot of people always worry about what you don't have, right? I don't have this Evo. I mean, I have it, but I don't have it right now to flourish out my content, right? Mm-hmm. So if I started this channel without a car and just made my content build up, because you gotta have people to watch your content to even get to that level of getting another car. And whatever source of income you gotta have, you know, everybody's source of income is different. You're home, living with your parents, you're on your own, you don't have that much money like that. So it's just like, you gotta start with what you have and, you know, deal with that first. Once you build that foundation of what you have, then you can start growing and get better and better and better. And then that's when that collection will start. So right now, I feel like, you know, compared to, and I don't like comparing, but it, you know, it's just it's a motivational factor. So what I mean is, like, I see people have their own shops, twin turbo, fucking wide body Huracans, 2300 horsepower Viper, 4GT, R34 Skyline Supras. You know, you get it. Legendary cars, people are enjoying them, have them in all sorts of different ways. And how I look at it is, I can do that too. You just gotta find your way and make it happen. So right now, I'm learning to find my way through it. There's this one special car that even if you get a Supra, either a luxury car, like I said, you know, whatever you do, there's this one vehicle that I definitely want. There's a time on that car because there's only one specific person that actually works on that car and like does it that way. Mm-hmm. And that is Akira Nakai RWB Porsche. That is probably my all-time goal car as of right now. There are plenty other cars that I want to drive, and then there's some other cars that I want to own and collect. But this is the number one list on the car. Porsche RWB, done by Akira Nakai himself. I would say I love cars all my life. I always grew up watching Speed Racer, Need for Speed, Burnout. So many different racing games. I could go on all day. Racing movies, Fast and Furious, the Need for Speed movie, all day. So what got me into actually getting into cars was my senior year. Mm-hmm. Went out with Mark, aka the guy behind the scene right now. Shout out to him. This guy. Shout out to Muhammad. I mean, we were the originators that really started getting people pumping around here for cars anyway. We went out with Brandon. He had his FRS at the time. Los, he had his red Hawkeye WRX. It wasn't even wide body. This is how long ago this all happened, 2016. And then I met, you know, my boy Chris. Shout out to Chris Sneaker Rehab. And those guys that I met, and Brandon Min with his white SI Civic, those guys are the ones that kind of like pushed me on to really starting to get in the cars. But went to college. I left home for the first time in my life. Left home for a while. I took a photography class, so this is when everything started up. I ran into Brandon and them, and I started taking pictures of cars, and then I started getting inspired by that. So I started going to car meets, seeing crazy cars, meeting different people, and just a lot of cool stuff back then in 2016. It was such a good time. On my birthday, it was me, you, shout out to the boys, Amir, Ray, Muhammad, Lyndon. It was a couple people that night. We all went to Dave and Buster's. This is the night that really set me off into why I want to do what I want to do. We got out. We were all done at Dave & Buster's that night, and we came up across some cars. So we were like, you know, some nice cars in the parking lot. And, you know, I always loved Paul Walker's R34 Skyline in Too Fast, Too Furious. And I was looking at the car and I was like, that kind of looks like the R34 because, you know, I didn't know too much of names around that time. I knew certain cars, but I didn't know all the names. I knew Corvette, Mustang, stuff like that, and R34 because of Paul Walker. And I was looking, I was like, that looks like the R34 from Too Fast, Too Furious. And we all came close to it and it's like, yo, that's seriously the car. So that in 2016 was my first time seeing an R34 in person, which was like life changing. I saw that. I seen a Toyota Supra, and then I also seen the Evo 10. I find it so funny. It's just like I have a picture to prove it too. I took a picture with an Evo 10. It was a white Evo 10, and I took a picture with the R34 too. And it's just so funny, you know. A couple years later, I wasn't even expecting to get an Evo 10, and here I am with Evo 10.
Fast forward a couple years later.
Yep. So yeah, this is what really started me going. Then I started looking up car YouTubers. You know, MJ was watching That Dude in Blue. That's the first YouTuber I started out watching. That Dude in Blue. Shout out to him. And during college, I was just watching car stuff. I was just so different from everybody too. And over time, I started watching different cars that I liked. And I was like, ooh, I want this one. Ooh, I want that one. What's this one? What's the name of this one? What engine this one has? And it took me a while. It was kind of like embarrassing at first because everybody they know what they're talking about with cars. And I'm like, I'm over here thinking I'm cool and shit. And I don't know the names of cars. So I'm like, damn.
It's anonymous, but everybody starts somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course. But over time, I started learning. I knew what certain parts were. I knew certain sounds cars made, like Subaru. You know, I could go on about days. You know, you guys see my Subaru WRX. The reason why I had that car is because my uncle had taught me on his '09 or '10 WRX. It was silver.
The narrow body.
You know, my unks. Shout out to unks and. You know, that's where I started. Everything started going faster and faster as far as like learning how to drive stick and everything. And then later on, we got my first WRXs. That's the car I wanted to have as my first vehicle. Nothing else really pushed me past that. And I started. And that was a rough journey, but I learned so much from here on out, you know, especially with this car now.
Good. Well, shoot. On that note, I gotta wrap this up because I got somewhere else to be. But always a pleasure, and we're definitely gonna be seeing a lot more content coming soon. A lot more free time, a lot more time to make shit happen. So we'll be outside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.